Think about that. Change is hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, and glorious at the end. How many of you want to step into being glorious? Right, so you're going to learn a lot. I haven't come here just for a warm feeling. I've come here because I truly believe that the people in the continent of Africa can achieve more than any other continent in the world in forever. I believe that. Does anybody else believe it?
Yes.
And I truly believe that Zambia, East Africa, can absolutely tear up the tarmac.
Woo!
But I'm telling all of you right now, you're going to need to change. The world we live in today is not the world we lived in 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It ain't going to go back to the good old days. This is the good old days. So if we want a good life, a big life, a free life, if we want peace of mind, and if we want freedom in all that this country offers us, then we have to understand we're at the start of a new chapter right now, here and forever. So, I want you to open your minds, sharpen your pencils, because I've come over here to bring a lot of information, and I'm not going to leave until I've got it all from here into your notebooks. Feel free, we're going to have questions and answers at the end. So if you've got any questions, I will answer them at the end. But what I want to do now, the first part of the day, is to take you on a journey. And I want to take you on a journey because at every step of success, we learn lessons. But sometimes people don't recognize the lessons they are learning. So what I want to do is share with you a story of how we got started in Forever. And maybe some of the things you pick up on are lessons that you've experienced but haven't known how to manage. And when we don't know how to manage things, what we do is we panic and then we falter in our belief in where we're going. So you're going to learn a lot just in me telling my story. So are you ready?
Yes.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You like that? I had a phenomenal intro for Enos. And actually most of what he said is right. I'm very proud of what myself and my late husband John created around the world. We created something that we believe is a force of good. And that is our example, our leadership, and our sharing. So let me take you on a story and tell you a little bit about how it all started. Because you see me standing here as a diamond manager. You see me standing here as one of the top people in the world. But it wasn't always like that. I want to take you back 30 years. 30 years ago, I was a single mum. My background is in farming, sheep and horses. I had a great way of life, working outdoors all day, not stuck in an office, looking out of the window in a box. I was very privileged to be outdoors, but I was always working hard to make somebody else wealthy, and I was always struggling. Can anybody relate to that? Okay. I got through a bit of a nasty divorce, and I found myself living in circumstances that were less than ideal. The marriage had broken up, the family home had gone. I was living in a rather horrible rented cottage that had leaking windows, no heating. It really was quite tough for 2 little boys, 7 and 8. And I was working hard for other people, literally living day to day. reality. And all of us, in our lives, at some stage, will go through tough times. All of us will. But remember, tough times never last. But tough people do. It was hard. It was hard. I won't deny it. Never enough money to pay the bills, and I was always really, really exhausted from looking after the kids, working on the farm, looking after the horses. I was always tired. And I remember one miserable wet morning. I'd been lambing all night in the lambing sheds. And I was tired. I came in, it was about 6 in the morning. The cottage I lived in was on the farm, so the boys were asleep. I came in the morning, was so tired, so cold. And I thought, I'll just have a cup of tea before I get them up and get them off to school. I got them up, got them off to school, came back, sat in the kitchen, and I thought to myself, I need to go to bed, but I couldn't because I then had to go and do another job. And just as I was getting ready to exit the house, postman and drop the letters on the doormat. 4 letters. One was an electricity bill, and when I opened it, I thought, well, I'm going to find money for that. One was a tax on the car. When I looked out the window of the car, I thought it's not worth taxing. One was from a letter from my landlord saying he was putting the rent up on the house I was in. I looked at it and thought it should be demolished. It was that bad. But it was the 4th one that made me have a heartfelt paradigm shift. Because the 4th one was a letter from the school asking me if the boys would like to go on a school away trip. And I looked at the cost. It was £60 per child. And I had got £60. And my 2 kids were the only kids that didn't go on that school trip.
Wow.
And that's when I realised something had to change. I had a major paradigm shift, huge paradigm shift. And I realised that if I wanted my life to change, I had to change. So I'm going to ask you right now, all of you, just for a moment to think, have you had that moment in your life where you know that something has got to change? Where it's hit you like a ton of bricks in the heart. But when we know our life has got to change, we very often think, well, that's fine, but what are we going to do? You know, what was I going to do? I'm just a farmer. But I knew I had to change. So I started looking around. I thought, I know what, I'll go back to school and I'll learn how to be a vet. And that was fine, but going back to school to be a vet was going to be 7 years. It cost a lot of money, and I had got 7 years, and who was going to pay for that? I thought then that maybe I would go on and start a traditional business. Minimum cost in the UK to start a traditional business is about £10,000. No guarantee of help. No guarantee of success, and in fact we know statistically that 95% of small businesses fail in their first 5 years. And I'm fairly certain that's the same here, right? So I thought, I know what, I'll start a franchise. Do you know the minimum investment into a franchise now is around about 25,000? If you want a McDonald's, it's about $500,000. Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly didn't have that kind of money lying around. And so I thought, what am I going to do? Now, isn't it interesting when you change the way you think? Here's a lesson. When we change the way we think, in other words, stop looking inwards at all the things we haven't got, can't do, can't achieve, and start looking at the possibilities of what we want to do, want to achieve, and want to be. And it was fascinating because suddenly, rather than looking inwards, I was looking outwards. backwards. And I don't know if any of you believe in fate or if any of you believe in the divine intervention, the fact that when you put it out there, the universe brings it back to you. Do you believe in that? What you give out, you get back. If you're a bad person, you're going to attract bad. If you're a selfish person, you'll attract the same. If you're a person who gossips and talks that is negative, condoning and criticising, you're going to attract those people. But if you're someone that wants a big life, a happy life, a free life, then the universe will eventually bring people and opportunity into your life that will make a difference. So because I put it out there that I wanted a different life, it was really interesting. Suddenly my head was held high, and suddenly I began to realise I didn't need to live a life of quiet desperation. Nobody does. You are not put on this planet, any of you, to be mediocre. Every one of you has got the seed of greatness within you. Every one of you. You just need someone to see it, you to believe it, and an opportunity to realise it. And isn't it funny when we open our mind and people have an opportunity come straight into our very being? I remember the day. It was about 3 or 4 months after I made the decision that my life had to change. I remember, in the good old days, for the youngsters in the room, when we started in Forever, there were no mobile phones, there were no computers, there was no social media, there was no presentations. We had a box of products and a flip chart, and that was it.
That's what you want the future.
But I remember getting the phone call. I remember getting a phone call from a friend. Now, how many of you in this room were prospected with a phone call?
He's coming, the
Put
guy.
your hand up if someone called you to talk to you about Forever. In fact, stand up.
So the guy
If you
coming?
have a phone call,
Yeah,
someone
where is
who's
it?
been said, please come and take a look at Forever. So every year, I'm not working in public standing up. How do the rest of you join that?
Text.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. That just gives me a bit of a guideline. What was interesting when the phone went, and I picked up the phone, a friend of mine called Chris was on the phone, and he was talking about this company called Forever and his products called Aviola, and I hadn't got a clue what he was saying. It all sounded dumb Dutch to me. But he said something that resonated. He said, you don't need any experience. So that's good. You don't need a lot of money to invest. So that's good. He said you can achieve all your goals and dreams if you're prepared to work hard. And I remember saying to Chris, I'm really interested, but right now we're moving house and we're taking the kids to my camping holiday. So I said no. Now, when people say no to you, what do you do? Think about it. You think about these questions and ask yourself internally. When someone says no to you, what do you do? Because I said no to Chris, but it wasn't a no, it was just no, not now. But he could have taken it as a no. But just a few months later, he followed up. A few weeks later, he followed up. And the timing was right. And we got happily involved in Forever. Now, I want to really make a point here. And this is an interesting point because had he accepted no for a no, and this is a big lesson make you a fortune. Ready? Stop it. If you don't follow up, you potentially could miss recruiting a diamond manager, GLT, one of the top people in the world. So shame on you if you reach out to people and talk to them and they say no, and you never get back to them. And a bit later I'm going to teach you the words I use in order to turn a no into a yes. Who wants those? Yeah. Just that training alone will change your fortunes. We're not there yet. This was the start of an incredible journey for us. And I'm going to talk to you now about something that I want all of you to do a mind check. When we said yes to Forever, we did not join to try. We did not join to give it a go. We did not join to see if it would work. We joined to be successful. Now, we didn't know what success would look like. We didn't know what the journey would look like. But mentally, we were prepared on day one for success. Now, sadly, most people are not. Most people set themselves up for failure before they even start. But I'm going to help you change all that. Because all of that boils down to belief. Belief in you, belief in the products, belief in the opportunity, belief in the industry, belief in your country, pride for who you are and what you stand for. But I'll come back to that. So we were intrigued. We were at the start of a really, really outstanding journey with this company. Now what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about Forever. Now all of you say, well, we're in Forever. Why do you need to talk to us about Forever? Because you're not in Forever. You're giving a lip service. You're doing a bit. You're progressing a bit. You're making a bit of money. You've got some customers. You're building in a team. You're doing okay. But you haven't fully absorbed the potential and opportunity. Because if you had, Zambia would be the #1 country in East Africa. So I want to talk to you about Forever, and I want to fill your hearts with pride. Because I tell you something, I am so proud to stand here in front of you as a diamond in India with us. Then why weren't you? What was your excuse? What was your limiting belief? Who'd like to be in Paris next year, in France? Oh yes. And if you weren't in the business and maybe it's a bit too early to achieve that, then the next year there'll be another one, and the next year there'll be another one, and the next year, and the next year, and the next year. Plenty of hours, plenty of trips to go on. We're forever paying for everything for you and for you spending money. Let me ask you a question. How many of you got a job? How many of you got a job? Do you know what we say a job stands for? Just over broke. It's true, isn't it? You give the best years of your life to a boss who pays you what he thinks you're worth. You can't survive on that, but you give him your time for years and years and years. Having a job is good because you all need to experience what it's like to be financially challenged. But every one of you needs to have an entrepreneurial mindset and think about being an entrepreneur. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, best place to put your entrepreneurial spirit is into forever.
Oh, yes.
Because my dream is to build it. I've said it to her 3 or 4 times since last night. There's something magical about this country I've never been before. I've travelled all over Africa, why have I never been before? But the minute I got off the plane last night, I felt it. There's something quite special about this country. I felt it today going from the hotel to here. I felt it when I was having some breakfast. The people, there's something about you all. You're quite unique, you're quite special, you know that. I went for there for breakfast, I don't normally eat breakfast, but I didn't eat all day yesterday. And when I came up and said my drinks order, my voice was sore. And he said, "Ma'am, leave it with me." And he went away and came back of his own accord and made me a herbal drink with ginger, turmeric, lemon and honey. And he said, "I want to give you this and hope your voice gets better." You know, these little things that tell me you're good people. You deserve more. You deserve it all. So why not now? Why not you? So when we look at Forever with its marketing model, its incentive program, you look at the products, you look at the global opportunity, you look at the love and the care and attention the company bestow upon you, I would say you're mad if you're not running with this. So stop playing with it and start taking it seriously. And that's the joy about life. Every one of us can make a new decision today and say, line in the sand. As of today, I'm going to look forward, not back. I'm going to create and design a new life for me and my family. And forever will be my vehicle. I am 100% committed. Because until you have that mindset, you will allow distractions to knock you off course. And I believe that's why there were more of you at the rally. Distractions have knocked you off course. And I'm here to put you back on course. So please, be proud forever. Be proud of what you've registered for. Wear your yellow t-shirts with pride. Wear your baseball caps with pride. Show your branding with pride. And if anybody tries to tell you different, let them speak. Never get into confrontation. People have opinions. So be happy and be smiling and be forever and forever in your heart. So here we were 30 years ago, it was time to get started, and we bought our box. Now our box was, shall I speak in dollars? Do you want to understand sterling or dollars?
Dollars.
Dollars?
Dollars.
Dollars. So our box would have been about $300 plus. And we didn't have the money for it, but I had a credit card. So I thought I'm going to put the cost of the box on the card, and I worked out how much the first repayment would cost. And the first repayment would be £17, which is $20. Bless you. I'm going to put up for that. And I thought that's no brainer, go buy the box. Start a business that could make me, I'm going to say it, a millionaire. To start a business that could give me financial freedom. To start a business that could allow me to achieve my goals. To start a business that I could work part-time initially. Then I could scale it for less than $300 to a no-brainer. A no-brainer. So I borrowed the money. Because I knew if I borrowed the money rather than procrastinate, in other words, oh no, I haven't got money, I'll wait until I've got it. But my dreams don't wait. I want my dreams, I want to work on now. Not in a week, not in a month, not in 6 months. You'll never have the money. You've got to say, yes, I'm going to go for it. I believe in me, I believe in the company. I'm going to find that money, I'm committed. I want to be successful. And I remember getting the box home, putting it on the kitchen table, opening up and thinking, just for a moment, oh my goodness, what have I done? Anybody thought about that when they got their box? What do I know about aloe vera? I'm just a farmer. What do I know about network marketing? I'm just a farmer. And the question was, could we and should we? And the answer was yes, we joined to be successful. However, I will remember the very first time, maybe some of you can remember this. Can you remember the very first time you tasted this? I remember opening the box and looking at this, and we were gel, and I remember getting a big glass. Pouring a full glass, because no one had told me what to do with it. And I remember taking a great big swig of it and going, what the is that? And I put the drink down, and I rang up my friend Chris, and I said, Chris, you know that money guarantee on the products? And they said yes. I said, well, can you swap this one? I think it's gone off. I thought it was rancid. And he said, no, Jayne, it's gone off. That's how it tastes. And I went, that's how it tastes. You want me to build a business with that? He said, yeah, we're all going to. So I put the phone down, I looked at John. He looked at me, he said, what? I said, well, I'm not drinking it, you are. And he took a sip, he said, I'm not drinking it. I said, yes, you are, why are you sleeping in the spare room tonight? He went, okay, I'll drink it. And he drank it. And he drank it. And he drank it. And do you know that in a matter of weeks, the long-standing health condition he had completely cleared up? And that's when I realised we got our hands on something quite magical here. And when you look into the benefits of aloe and how it works in the body and why it works in the body, and the way the body processes it and assimilates it, you realise this, everybody in the world should be drinking aloe. Everybody. And isn't it interesting how the bigger the check gets, the nicer the aloe tastes?
True.
So, who's had their aloe this morning? I bet you better put your hands up, every one of you. So there we were with our box. will say, I don't have time to work on my business. How many of you have heard that before? I don't have any time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a load of rubbish. You don't have time to become wealthy. You don't have time to pay off debt. You don't have time to earn the money to educate your kids. Really? What are you spending your time on? So we work time for time, but we made time to go to work. This is what we did. We turned off the TV, we turned off the radio, we stopped buying the newspapers, and we focused on the business. Now today, what I would say to you is stop scrolling. Who knows what I mean when I say that? How many hours a day do you waste by sitting on social media, just scrolling, 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 scrolling? Be honest. Honesty is the first step to greatness. When you recognize things you're doing, and what do we say? Stop it. So why do we waste time? We waste time in so many areas. Stop scrolling. Stop wasting your time looking at, they call them smartphones, I call them dumb phones. We all need them and make them work for us. Don't allow them to take us off track. Because if you scroll for half an hour, you could have had conversations with beautiful people about Jayne forever. You could have done a presentation, you could have shown products. So back in the day, we didn't have any of those distractions. The TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and talking, chatting, gossiping, and we went to work. And in my first 2 weeks of forever, I retailed 8 case credits.
Woo!
Yes, 3 years, 3 years. And I did that because I was committed to sharing the product. And everywhere I went, I took my box with me. Because if you don't have your products with you, you're not open for business. If you've got your products at home, you're not open for business. And I would go and have a coffee with a friend, and I put the box on the kitchen table, and I'd say nothing about the box. I wouldn't even look at it. This is a very good tip. And I'd chat with them, how you doing, have kids, let's have a coffee, what's new, what's this, what's that. And eventually they will say, Jayne, what is in that box? Now when someone does that to you, they are open. But if you walk into their house and put the box on the table and say, right, let me tell you all about how good, they go, whoa. So you need to create intrigue. People need to be intrigued by what you're doing. So I put the box on the table, say nothing, and they ask me what was in it. I open the box and I begin to tell them about the product. I didn't know much about the specification of the product, so I didn't share stories about yellow, about the bee propolis, about the tooth gel, about the heat lotion, about the deodorant, and I just shared stories. And literally, I'm talking to people, and having a couple of home launches in 2 weeks Because that is the selling point when you're recruiting. When you're recruiting people and you're talking to them about return on investment, ROI, you can say, typically you get a return on investment anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. For me personally, it was 2 weeks. I know other people took 6 weeks. Is that something that interests you? Because most people never get a return on investment in 6 weeks, they're only 6 months to a year. So that's a big plus for forever when you're recruiting. So the lesson we learned in the first couple of weeks was share the product, 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 share the product. How many of you in this room retail product? You've all got good retail customers? Good. Look after them. They are like gold dust. You look after them, you nurture them, you occasionally maybe give them a product a little bit cheaper so they can try a new product. Maybe give them a couple of, do you have samples here in us? Do you have samples?
No.
No. But you know, many people know all the range, not just the one that you're marketing to them. So we learn to share the products with passion and to look after our customers. Now, in our first full month, which was September, we realised that you cannot build wealth, financial freedom, lifestyle just on selling product. It's impossible. You know, we do have in the UK some big retailers who are making $1,000, $1,500 a month just by selling the product. But there is a ceiling for just selling the product. You literally cannot scale to make thousands, hundreds of thousands, just by you alone selling product. So we realised this very quickly. And we realised that we needed to start building a business. Now, remember, there were no meetings, no trainings, no events, nothing, just us and a box of product. So, the odds were stacked against us in a way. So what did we do? Well, we created our own little meeting on a flip chart. We wrote out a few bullet points on forever. We drew out some income potentials. We talked a bit about the incentives, and we had a box of products. And one of the very first people, you need to remember this, I went to speak to one of the very, very first people who was a friend of mine who the very same month that I joined Forever for $300, she invested $30,000 into a high-end ladies' clothes shop. So when I went to speak with her about Forever, clearly she was going to be a no. Clearly. But I said to her, Jackie, let's just keep in touch. You can see how I'm doing, I want to see how the shop's doing, we'll keep in touch. Remember that, the first person was a no. The second person I ever spoke to was a lady called Pam. And she was a data entry lady, she worked on a computer. And when I went round to her house, I put a box on the table, and she said, Jayne, is that over here? I said, yes. She said, I'm in. Sorry? She said, I'm in, whatever it is, I'm in. So I thought, wow, this is easy. Yeah, I'm going to be a diamond manager in 6 months. I do exactly what you do. I use prevention, opportunity, teachers to say that I don't do anything different. So I must admit, on this journey to supervisor, I got a bit despondent with the rejection. And I didn't handle it very well. But we did manage to get 3 people in the business, and we did manage to put a lot of effort and retailing to do 22 case credits. So in the 8, in the last 2 weeks of the month before, we got to supervisor. So in 6 weeks we've done supervisor. Now, everyone, if you understand, as an assistant supervisor, you're on 30%. And as a manager, you're on 48%. Now, I'm not very good at maths, but 48 is bigger than 30, right? It was when I went to school. So all of you who are not yet on your journey to manager, I want you to remember that. 30 or 48. You'll see why in a minute. And 48 is where you're getting the maximum payout. So we knew we had to start networking. I was fine at retailing, that was easy. Anyone could sell these products. But I had to learn how to network. The check leapt up to a massive £51, plus my 30%, about 200, 250, 300. So I was making nice second income money, doing it around the Kempton horses, the sheep, and everything else. So the lesson we learned in our first 4 months was share business, share business, share business, share business, share business. And then do it again, every single day. Every single day. So I ask you right now, are you sharing business every single day? You will be by the time I finish. So, time to go to work with a team. Because once you recruit, you are a leader. And isn't it interesting that people think they've got to be a manager or they've got to be a senior manager before they can be deemed as a leader? No, my friends. The minute you recruit, you are a leader. Even if you've only been in the business 5 minutes more than the person you just recruited, you know more than they know. And you need to teach them what you know. So with the 3 people that we recruited the month before, we decided to go to work with them. And by the end of the next month, the 3 become 15. You see, if you go to work with somebody and you say, come, I will show you. Not I'll tell you. I will show you what to do. Then you will build a team quickly. And nowadays, sadly, I see all too often people telling others what to do, but not leading by example and showing them. So literally, I'm telling you, every single night I was out. Every single night I was out. Every single night I was out. Product launches, business shows, one-to-ones, business plans. Every single minute of the day that I wasn't working in my day job, I was focused on forever. Because I had a goal, I had a dream. And I tell you something, that dream isn't going to happen if I'm sat on the backside at home. So at the end of in 10 weeks we got to assistant manager. We had 15 in the team and had done 59 case credits. And we had made assistant manager. The check led to a huge £186. With my 30%, probably was now over $500, $600. Can't shout. No, it's working if I hit it. Can't shout. Okay, and yeah, we had a team of 15 people. And it was really, really exciting because suddenly the business began to have a life of its own. And suddenly we had to step into that terminology excited and energized and passionate and focused, you radiate an energy that attracts other people. Have you noticed that? Have you ever noticed how some of your friends, maybe even some of your relatives, are so miserable, they only brighten up the room when they leave it? You need to disengage. You cannot be around people that are whinging, moaning, complaining, condoning all the time, because they'll pull you down. And I was on fire, and that energy was attracting. My friends were saying, "What are you doing? What's happening? What's going on?" And suddenly I became a bit like a magnet because of my energy, my passion, my twinkle in the eye, my can-do, will-do, motivated, inspired attitude. So I want you to ask yourselves honestly, what's your energy like? Would you be attracted to you? If not, that's something you need to work on. There's so much doom and gloom in this world that people really genuinely want to be around. Happy, authentic, real, smiling, engaged people. So one of the lessons we learned when we got to assistant manager, that this business is about duplication. And if you don't understand the word duplication, for those of you that are coming to the business presentation, which I'm doing later, you'll understand if you bring all your guests, I'm going to recruit them for you, but you'll understand what the power of duplication means when I do the business presentation. Because without duplication, you can't build a big income. So you've got to learn to duplicate. To duplicate is simple. Duplicate the products that you use. Duplicate the products that you sell. Duplicate the way that you recruit so others can do what you do. And then duplicate the leadership planning. And if you can do that, your business will grow. And you'll see a bit later when you know that. So here we are. It's now about a sense of urgency. We're at assistant manager and we do not want to miss using those 59 case credits to do the manager qualification of 120 over 2 months in the next month. And we went mad. Literally crazy. There wasn't a second, a minute that was wasted. We were all over it, doing one-to-ones, business presentations, launches, planning. We did absolutely everything. I literally went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, was up at 5, 6, I had red eyes. And we used to have a funny saying, we used to say, if your eyes aren't red, you're not working hard enough. And it became a bit of a team thing, who looks exhausted. But it was good exhaustion because we were building our empires, building our businesses. Show me any successful person in the world, in any industry, that has not worked their backsides off to get to the top. Because no one gets there by luck, by chance. They get there by design and by hard work. So interestingly, the month that we went to management, we only had 19 active people. We had 30 in the team, but only 19 were active. So I want you to really think about that. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, I've got to find hundreds of people. No, you don't. A good manager team is around about 15 to 25 active people. And if you apply the 2-by-2 principle, 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, becomes 32, 5 becomes 25, becomes 125, becomes 625, duplicate. And if everybody's active, you think retailing and recruiting, the volume will come in. We did 98 case credits. Now, if you've been smart, somebody is going to recognise what happened. Okay, we'll carry on going. So, got to manager, the bonus check was £618. Now, back in the day, Hello? Hello?
Just in case, yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. For those of you that are not married, just close your eyes. Close your eyes just for a moment. And imagine you just put in all the work,
Mildred.
all the effort. You've got a great team with you. Everyone's working really hard. You've got new supervisors coming. You've got new recruits joining. You've got people doing launches.
There's not.
You've got all this excitement in the time in the team. At the end of the month, you look at your bank and it says manager. How do you feel? And suddenly into your bank account comes $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. How would you feel? How would you feel? Well, I can tell you, it's a feeling I've never heard. And the lesson I learned in the 14 weeks it took me to get to manager is that 48 is better than 30. So if you're an assistant supervisor right now, or you're in the book, or your mobile phones and your notes, whatever you're doing, to just put the word manager and underline it, highlight it, circle it, star it. Because I want you to have manager on the mind, manager in the brain, manager in the soul. I want you to be laser focused on achieving that position. Why? Because I know the difference it'll make in your home, to your families, to your loved ones, and I want you to experience that. We had a great Christmas. For the first time, the kids could have whatever they wanted. Skateboards, trainers. There were no computers and Xboxes and Game Boys. Footballs, rugby balls, sports kits. If they wanted it, they could have it. Because you know what? Mama had worked hard, and I did it because I wanted my kids to have good stuff. And I wanted to be an example to them. Who do you want to be an example for? Who do you want to be an example for? So managers king, a great Christmas, and going into the new year. And then it all went to be pear-shaped. And I'm guessing that some of you have been or are facing maybe challenges and disappointments. Things that you wanted to happen didn't materialise. Goals and dreams seem further away than ever before. Because in January, we realised we made a massive, massive mistake. Did any of you pick up on it? We missed the car club by 1.4 case credits in our third month in the business. Remember, we did 59, 98.6, and then 152. We would have been the fastest car credit achievers in the history of forever. But we missed it by 1.4 cc's. That hurt. That hurt. But that was, we take responsibility for that. Because it's our business. We should have read the law, we should have read the company policy. We should have looked at the incentive brochure. We should have read the rules, we should have known what it took to achieve our plan. But we didn't. The bonus check dropped by half. Now let me ask you, all of you, a question. If your bonus check was up at 1,600 and 1,700, and then it dropped to 700, how would you feel and what would you do? You can answer them, you don't have to sit in silence. What would you do? How would you feel? Frustrated? Confused? Sad?
Angry.
How about questioning? This company doesn't work. It's the products. It's the marketing plan. It's my team. It's my parents. It's the government. It's the environment. We all point the finger at blame, don't we? But when we point the finger at blame, there are three fingers And this is what I mean. I recruit somebody into my business because I'm on fire, I'm focused, on purpose. What's your name? Betty. I recruit Betty. I'm on focus. I'm absolutely on point. Betty joins my business, and she's going to be a star. However, Betty is a bit lazy. Yeah, she procrastinates. She's very honest. We've got a business presentation on Monday night. When you come, we've got a launch next Friday. Can you do it? Well, I've got 4 kids. You can see. So what I did, rather than saying, you're best, are you ready? I think you're going to be amazing. I love you, your personality is incredible. You'll be amazing in forever. Your potential is off the scale. But right now, you're not quite ready. I'm here for you. But I didn't do that. What I did was say, oh, don't worry, sweetheart. You sit at home, I'll look after your product launch for you. You stay at home with your kids, I'll leave my kids. You don't need to come, I'll do it for you, I'll do it for you, and I'll do it for you, and I'll do it for you. And I did it for everybody. And then when I got to manager, guess what happened? I was so exhausted, I sat down. What did the team do? Sat down. What you do, they will copy. Every single one of you is on the show in forever. Every one of you. They're watching. If you take a shortcut, they'll take a shortcut. If you don't do it, they won't do it. If you don't show up, they won't show up. And that was one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned on my journey in forever. Was have an A team and an A team. The A team are the hungry ones. Young lady there, hungry. Do anything, go anywhere. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll call him up, he goes, yes, Jayne, what are we doing? 6 o'clock in the morning, we've got a meeting, he goes, great, where are we going? I speak to Betty, she goes, tired. Yeah, little kids. Can any of you relate to that? So you have an A team where you put your priority time. I've got this young man, he's keen, he's hungry, he's a hard worker, he's focused. This is where I put my time. Because what we tend to do, when we have a good one in our team, we go, they're brilliant, let them get on with it. Do you know what? She's not brilliant, but I'm going to try my hardest to make her a diamond.
Yeah.
How many of you done that? You put your attention to the wrong people. How many have done it? Okay, write this down. Stop it. You've got to work with the right people. You've got to love them all, but work with the right ones. So this was the time when we realised that if we wanted our business to grow now to its full potential, we had to go back to work. We had to get ourselves up and we had to get serious. And this was the time that we sat down and we made a serious plan. Now again, I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you in this room have got a detailed 12-month and 5-year plan? And I'm going to ask you to put your hands up here because I need to know, because it helps me know where I'm going to focus my time. How many of you have got a detailed 1-year plan in place right now where you know exactly what you've got to do in the next 12 months? How many of you? Stand up if you have. Okay, well done ladies, well done. Can I please So what we do is, have you got a team of 90 people? Who's telling you? So if you've got a team of 5 to 10 people, right, even if you've got a team of 3, 4, 5 people, you need to identify the ones that are potentially going to be your superstars. And you need to get them to understand the seriousness of this journey. So what I would do with you is I'd sit down and I need to draw out your team. So the first thing is to draw it out. We call this the genealogy. You draw out the team. Okay, so you've got you and you may recruit 2 or 3, and there could be a couple in, a couple in, a couple in. And then I'll ask you some simple questions. Tell me from this team who you think could be the right level of superstar. And what we do is we identify them. Could it be one person? It doesn't matter, you can change the world with one person. And what we do is we identify them. And then this is what you're going to do, because all of them are living at lazy. You're going to give them a call, or you can do a voice message, not a written text message. Things get lost in translation. They need to hear your voice. So you can call them or voice message them. This is what you say. You say, Betty, hi, it's me. Oh my goodness, I just had the most incredible weekend with one of my mentors, Jayne, Leach. And she said to me, who are the potential superstars in my team that are really worth shining their light on? And I see you as being one of them. Now I'm just going to ask you a question, and I want a yes or a no answer. That's all I ask of you. I think you're amazing. I think you've got potential. We're going to put Zambia on the map. Are you with me or not? Yes or no? That's it. That's it. She then says, oh my God, yes. And you've got your first player. Now you mean everybody in the team, yes or no? Everybody that says yes, you sit there and you put a plan in place to get to Joe. Okay? Every one of them. That's it. And if there's only one of them, you just work with that one, because that one person will create more volume than all those that do nothing. You're trying to pull and push and pull and push, and you're working out to exhaust you. Don't do it. Just find the superstars and focus on them, right? Okay. So, what happens when we find the superstars? What happens when we pour our belief into them? Because that's what we're doing. We're pouring our belief into people, and we're waking them up by saying, hey, you've got potential. You could be incredible. You could be amazing, but what are you doing? You're wasting your life, you're wasting your time. What are your goals, what are your dreams? I'm here to help you. Are you in or not? And you know what you've done is you've just paid them a compliment. You've told them you believe in them. You've told them they've got potential. You've told them they could be a superstar. How often do they hear that? How often in the real world does someone say, sir, you could be amazing? Do you ever hear that? No, no one tells us that. But in forever, when we realise it, we need to say it. Because I tell you something, when someone starts believing in you, you will achieve everything. Everything. And when you have the right mentor, and you have the right person to pull you into that comfort zone and get you on the road to success, you'll achieve things you never thought possible. And look at the results. We identified 3 leaders. 3, that was all. 3 months. We went to 259 King's credits. Check was $54,000, senior manager and car plan. All because we identified 3 people to go to work with. So I want you just to take a minute now. I'm going to give you a minute. Because I need to rest just for a minute. This is not break time, it's just for a minute. I want you just to take your notebooks or your phones, notes on your phones, don't mind why you do it, and just look into your team and say, who have I got? Who have I got that could be a star? Who have I got that we can pull together and put a plan in place? Who can I believe in?